All right, music fans, welcome back. Harmless Dave here, talking real music in real time for real people just like you right there, and just like me right here. Sad news from the Starship front. Not talking about some random spaceship. I'm talking about the band Starship. Stephanie Calvert, who had been with Starship for about 15 years, I think now, maybe longer, but I think it's about 15 years. She was unceremoniously fired back in September. So for those of you who have noticed, there's a new female vocalist who is playing the part of Grace Slick, or trying to. Nobody, quite honestly, replaces Grace Slick because she's so weird and she was so quirky and different and her voice was so unique. However, I got to give some huge props to Stephanie Calvert, who was able to sing all of the 60s material and all of the Grace Slick parts that came later. She did it with class. She's a very attractive lady on stage, and she just had a great stage presence. Her and Mickey Thomas seemed to be like two peas in a pod, right? And they liked one another, or it appeared they liked one another. But after I get through telling this story, your opinion of Mickey Thomas and Starship might kind of drop a couple of notches. Look, Mickey Thomas, there's no older vocalist on the scene right now, and I say this with a lot of confidence. You may come up with your own name, but nobody does it like Mickey Thomas at age 71. I think he's going to be 72 fairly soon. And he's out there singing everything in the original key. In fact, it was weird because I found out about Stephanie Calvert today. This morning, I was listening to original Starship records and then comparing them to these live versions from this year. And it's completely holy crap Batman on steroids. I don't understand how he's doing it. I don't think there's a vocal track back there. I just don't. It's Mickey, and he is defying logic and age and physics and whatever else. It's pretty amazing. But I'm really bummed out they fired Stephanie Calvert. Now, here's the dumb reason, and you know I've been talking about this stuff now for 8 months. So they fired Stephanie Calvert because she didn't do the thing. Now, it's not just that she didn't want to do the thing. It's the fact that she consulted a doctor. And Stephanie, by the way, went on Facebook to just get her side of the story out there. Apparently, she has some medical condition which does not allow her to do the thing. But, you know, during this entire narrative, all we've been hearing is, well, that doesn't matter. Well, you're pregnant. Just go ahead and do it. Oh, you have some kind of birth defect, or you've got some other illness. It's okay. Just go and do it. It's safe. It's good for everyone. Her doctor said, no, it isn't, and you shouldn't do it. So apparently it got back to the powers that be. And it seems like that includes Mickey Thomas, which is really sad. And they decided to terminate Stephanie Calvert after 15 years of fantastic service to a band that was really kind of resurrected and revitalized because of her and the chemistry between her and Mickey Thomas. Now, they do have a new singer, and she seems pretty good. But why fire Stephanie Calvert over this? You know, the zealotry which is taking place, and I look at it as a new religion that has popped up. Maybe people don't believe in God anymore, but they believe in medical apartheid, you know, as like a new religion. Like, I worship the gods of medicine. I am the god of hellfire. I'm trying to think who. The crazy world of Arthur Brown just popped into my head. I need to get some medical attention myself here. So anyway, I apologize for that. If you don't know what that is, we'll just move right along. It's weird to me that these people would throw somebody who loved to do this, which Stephanie Calvert did, She loved to do this. She was really good at it. She looked great on stage. Again, I can go on and on as to why her presence with Starship was a great thing. And there was no reason to dissolve this relationship based on the fact that she had other underlying issues that would prevent her from doing the thing. And I just, this blows my mind because it shows how dogmatic these people are. They're not willing to hear her side of the story. They don't think her explanation is good enough. By the way, she was willing to take a test every single time. She was willing to stay 60 feet apart or 600 feet apart or whatever it is. I know that gets a little difficult on stage, but you could tuck Stephanie over in the corner somewhere and have a spotlight down on her when she starts to sing, and maybe the audience will eventually find her because she's so far apart from the other band members. I mean, if everybody in the band, right? See, this is what's crazy, and the crazy screwed up logic, and it gets to the surface, and I think to myself, am I the only one who just is looking at this and going, okay, you guys, you did all this stuff, right? And by the way, we're seeing all of these musicians that did it admitting, yeah, I got it anyway. Okay, so Stephanie, who, by the way, here's the other kicker to this, had the thing. She had the thing. So what does she have now that she didn't have before after she had the thing? Well, it's these things that are inside of you, right? And the first word is anti, and the other word has to do with body, okay? Now, she has those, and she's willing to do the testing. Starship said, bye-bye. Something about, well, you didn't tell us soon enough. You didn't act quick enough. You didn't get us in the loop about this. And she came out and said, it's kind of like my own medical personal business. So I told you when I got the information from my doctor, and that's what I would do. I mean, it's not like Starship has got a gig. If you look at their schedule, it's not all that packed. All right. There's a gig here. There's a gig there. Sometimes you got to wait months to see Starship playing anywhere. They're not out on the road every weekend. Okay. And I'm sure if, they needed to have maybe somebody fill in for her briefly while she worked all this stuff out, this person they currently have in the band, who they haven't announced is in the band yet, right? She could have filled in. Apparently, Stephanie knows who she is. So maybe she even recommended this person to Starship. So, I mean, talking about bending over sideways and willing to do whatever it takes to try to make this work out, Starship didn't care. And that includes Mickey Thomas. I call him like I see him. I've been trying to get an interview with Mickey Thomas recently. I've been reaching out to the team over there, and they've kind of been saying, maybe, okay, we'll get back to you, blah, blah, blah. I'm not really interested now in talking to Mickey Thomas. I do think he's a freak of nature. He's an amazing vocalist, but if he had anything to do with firing Stephanie Calvert because she refused to do something that is, I so want to say this, but I can't. This is not going well for many people, all right? And if she has another condition, she has every right. Her doctor, common sense, science. The science isn't what one small little emperor who wears no clothes. It's not just what he says. In fact, that guy should be fired. That guy should probably maybe be put in jail. Maybe. I think so. I mean, you can't change your mind every few weeks. It's like the whole population. It's like waiting for him to do something and say something. Can I have a Thanksgiving? Can I have a Christmas? Can I have a barbecue? Can I breathe? Can I not breathe? I mean, shut up. Shut up. I'm done with that guy. I'm so done. And I'm mad that the guy who was in charge last year didn't fire his ass. All right. So now here we are a year later, a woman who spent 15 years in this band doing a great job, doing an impossible job because she's got to pretend to be somebody who's impossible to imitate, who is Grace Slick, right? And who does just, great work throughout the years, visually appealing, a true kind of like rock and roll diva type character. And now she's gone. She's not in the band anymore. And so that's it. That's the video. I got nothing else. It's sad. It's disappointing. It's unfair. And this is how this stuff hits you in real life. All right. You've got a job and now you don't have a job. And by the way, this is happening not just with this band, but it's happening all across America. Yesterday, something like, I don't know, a couple thousand police officers in New York City. Bye-bye. First responders, see you later. We don't need you. We don't need you. It's not like we're not already understaffed. Same with all the transportation, all the infrastructure. They're going to what? Bring in the National Guard to do medicine now? Yeah, you can bring in a singer to replace Stephanie Calvert. Great. Singers are all over the place. And who knows? Maybe this woman was willing to be a pincushion like every other day because there's going to be more of them and they're going to keep coming. I feel bad for Stephanie Calvert. I'm disappointed with Starship because and again, I feel stupid because I've been talking them up because of Mickey Thomas. He's great, but yeah, I wouldn't recommend going to see this band anymore. Mickey can sing this way until he's 90. I really don't care at this point. I mean, you don't treat somebody like this who's given you 15 years and you've never had an issue with them until you became dogmatic about something that, quite honestly, in a couple of years, people are going to wonder, what the hell were we doing? That's what they're going to say. They might even say it 6 months from now. But right now, it's still kind of teetering on the edge because the entire rock business, and notice how there was no press about this anywhere. Nobody in the rock media mentions Stephanie Calvert gets fired from Starship because she refuses to do the thing because she's got medical issues. Not one person in the rock media took that story. It's a story. It's definitely a story, but leave it to me. I've got to do it, right? Anyway, I wish Stephanie and her husband, Chris Marion. By the way, Chris Marion is in the Little River Band, who I'm really not supposed to talk about anymore, but he is in the LRB, the USA version of the LRB, and he seems like a good guy. I don't have anything against those musicians, right? Just to wrap up the LRB stuff, which is probably another video. I don't have anything against anybody, the old band, the new band. Everybody should be recognized according to what they did, and people shouldn't pretend, and it shouldn't be vindictive, and everybody should be able to get along and share the revenue and share the wealth and share the fame, but they don't. They don't. Everybody's all after the mighty dollar. And that's what this was probably about with Starship, because, hey, if we don't do what the venue says, if we don't do what the authorities say, if we don't listen to the good little doctor who should have been fired last year, if we don't take his word on everything, then we shouldn't even have shows. We should just cancel them all. Maybe that's what you should do. Maybe you should just quit. You should just all quit, because, this is never going to end unless you end it, unless you say, nope, I'm not doing this anymore. So in any event, I'm riled up because this is just ridiculous. Stephanie Calvert should still be in Starship. She did a great job, and she could still be doing a great job. I'm sure the other woman will do a great job. That's not the point. I don't know that woman's name. That's why I'm referring to her as the other woman, not because I'm trying to sing anything that Ray Parker Jr. ever wrote. Okay, so I'm done, and I'll see you soon.